Okay, so my goal is to get to the AFM title. What I didn't know was, as I was pushing for the earlier total, I was actually getting closer to the other one, which is about 50 points or about 75 points away. So I'm sure I can get it in this sitting, provided we can find opponents. Okay, we've got our first guy. So we are 1335. So he was threatening c4 check. How do I continue my attack here? Okay. This way, if I take, he ends up taking on b2, which destabilizes a lot of my pieces. So this makes sense. This is a mistake. My time is bad, so I have to boogie. Okay, take you. Maybe not one of my greatest moves, but it's got some direction. Could have taken the rook. There was some risk to it, but he could have. Start there. This is a good idea. Also this one. Our time control, was it a flat time control? Okay, it was a flat time control. Okay, not a great suit, but okay. Becomes a little bit of a gamble. I thought we were doing an increment. Check what's happening there. Okay, let's go. Not all games will count, so we need feed the online rated games. They are the ones which contribute. Let's see. We have to find some games soon. Afternoons are generally better than evenings, but okay, then we do get them. Rustam Urabayev from Kazakhstan. Chicken.
खुशबू तेरी फैला दे हर ओर सरगम तेरी सुना दे सब छोड़ खुशियाँ चख ले थाली से मुरब्बा मेरी सहरों का जो कभी कभी ठंडा लगे कभी आग भरा थोड़ी देर पकाए बिन तेरी ये आस बुझेगी कुछ भी नहीं कुछ भी नहीं
Diabetes, Christopher Mendoza.
बिन राह की मंजिल है क्या कुछ भी नहीं
That's a looks like I've been seeing this player a lot lately. He doesn't play usually. Our opponent is from Greece. His name is Charis or Caris. Okay. Sicilian Grand Prix. My plan is to play Queen f4, f5, Bishop to h6, Knight g5. Probably in that sequence. But of course, your opponent will be trying to do other stuff. The question is, how does he respond? Because it looks like he's probably already thinking. He goes for this. I've not seen the correct theoretical handling for this, but I've been surviving with Bishop b3 because it doesn't really trap the bishop. Against this one, I think f5 is the correct response. Okay, this I think just helps the rook to come in. Yeah, I'm interested in just this way. And this is very strong. Okay, I don't think that was a good idea. So now I can play knight x, putting a lot of pressure on the knight, which is pinned, of course. Okay, so yeah, check. And the rook takes. So the point is that I got check. Okay, I could go bishop rook back and it's check, king h8. It's not the only move though. Got other ideas. Oh, king move doesn't work because he takes on f7. Check. It's an interesting idea, this one. Bishop there, I'm not worried about that one.
Feeling flag as a kite, flag as a satellite. Last night's dream still bright like a flashlight, like a past life, and I wake reborn. Super strong like trees after crazy storms. The past is gone, but it replay like a classic song. The twist and turns to the path we on, carve who we are. Just like a river that rock changes shape, whether you with it or not. So give us a thought, cause you the actor and the author and the artist. Your life's the masterpiece, but the hardest part is you the audience too. And sometimes you can't control it, but you can turn the darkness into beauty like a poet. Every story got various sides, like a paradise. Even paradise look bad through a pair of eyes is paralyzed and terrified by worry. But reframe that painting and it changing a got my feet straight on the ground.
What am I thinking?
But my head stays in the clouds, and you never
What if I could play bishop here? Very nice move. The point is queen takes, I go queen check on d8, and this would mate. The queen takes here, I go again back and check in. So you cannot afford to leave this file.
Crazy times that give birth like Genesis. My penmanship can describe a ride that's worldwide, but the real drive happen inside. In the long dark night of the soul, you feeling out of control. What's the next step? How do you know? That's when you dig deep down and see what you made of. Instead of getting ate up by life, you get your weight up. At first, you stronger than you know, and then you know. And when that confidence grows, everything flows. When you lost, the real you is finally found right around the bottom. See, that's the upside of down. Got my feet straight on the ground, but my head stays in the clouds.
I think I can take on.
For a while I lost my smile, but they still couldn't steal my style. Now they never gonna bring me down, 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 down. Got my feet straight on the ground, but my head stays in the clouds. They ain't never gonna bring me down,
Okay.
down, down, down. For a while I lost my smile, but they still couldn't steal my style. Now they never gonna bring me, Got my feet straight on the ground, but my head stays in the clouds. And you're never gonna bring me down, 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 down. For a while I lost my smile, but they still couldn't steal my style. Now they never gonna bring me down, 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 down.
Hey Kono, how are you? Start with this check. Exchange here. I pin this one. This one I think I'm gonna win something here.
A vida é só uma e não há tempo de voltar atrás. Não leve tudo tão a sério. Esqueça a dor, abra o sorriso e corra atrás. Pra ser feliz não há mistério. Compreensão e compaixão nunca é demais. Espalhe amor sem
Okay, let's look for a new one.
A vida é só uma e não há tempo de voltar atrás. Não leve tudo tão a sério.
I'll find someone.
Esqueça a dor, abra o sorriso e
Let's
corra
go.
atrás.
It's our friend from
Pra
Greece.
ser feliz não há mistério.
See how he battles the French. He exchanges. The knight on f8 probably will never get checkmated. That's the reasoning. But it's a fairly passive position. Exchanging a few pieces would help me.
今日もフル回転朝から晩まで汗まみれそれ帰宅したら飯食って寝るだけただ確か明日も
This is welcome.
眠気まなこ開いて予定
I think I should take with the knight.
風揺られて take off 解き放たれいらない take off 時などない
Then attack the bishop.
サビのない休日満喫バー昨日の今頃は特に出勤こんなスヌーティー特段変わらん同じ空気向かうのに別に決まった僕が入るの同じだけのまものも
means business. Can I attack? It'd be very risky. I wanted to play something like Queen h4, but after Bishop g3, I'm not so sure how I would continue. Because if I go Queen g5, then you might just have f4. When my queen ends up here with an improved, I think, position. If I play f6, where does he go to? Oh, he comes here to g6. I'm not liking this position. Okay, let's go. Yep. If I were him, I would seriously consider Bishop h6. There's a lot of interesting ideas. The rook is not protected. I want to move this piece. It's causing me a lot of pain. Then I want to play here. Get out of the rook's path. Hey Ryan, how are you? Ryan from Lensbeck. Hey Greg, how are you? I found out I'm 75 points away from the AFM title, so I thought, let me get into it. This is actually a tactical blunder. I think you can play knight f7. But no, knight f7 I can take on g3 first. Yeah, can you take on? You can take on c6. You can play this idea, which is hopefully ridiculous. So it's either ridiculous or very good. Okay, I might threaten anyway. I want to play g5, but it doesn't make sense. Let me play queen f4. I'm good, right? In the absence of tournaments, I've been pursuing the FIDE online ones. Okay, do I go g6? Take. Okay. It's an interesting idea. Ooh, that might be suicidal. Oh, it's Ruan, how are you? Play knight takes. Okay. I think he underestimates what's happening here. I go check. Ooh, maybe I should have stayed in the center. Let's go like this. Okay, that part is good. And go here. Really? Ah. I tried to drag my queen to g7 or at least g6. I couldn't. A good game. Instead of going forward, I slipped back a little bit. I'm on 13-13. 13-19. Oh, which tournament are you? The wine one. Are you playing in the wine tournament? Tell me which tournament you're playing in. I think I saw it it's either on Jesse's page or something like that. Let me know which one you're playing in. Chevalier or something like that. Where is our opponent from? From Israel. I think you're not supposed to take this pawn, but I believe in necessary one and Koshna. This is the Oh, what is the name of the tournament that you're playing in? I think Oh, in the Western Cape Club Championships, of course, yes. It's this weekend. We wanted to come, but it was very difficult to organize the timing of it, especially mid-month and so on. We really wanted to play, yeah. So who's leading so far? I wonder which club is leading. I don't know if this is correct or if I'm being greedy. But again, in the spirit of Koshna and Yasasero, now take the point. Wow, that's really cool. I am very happy to hear that your team is doing well. It's a really nice competition to take part in. it builds a club.
Ain't nothing like a crowd screaming, singing out loud. Hey, I like it like that. It's a love worth making, a risk worth taking, never looking back. It's the simple things of life that make it worth.
I think he could have punished me for this. He could have taken on e7 and taken with the knight on d5. It's a nice tactical trick. Oh yeah, the captain of that team. Very nice. Your team is in good hands. You could be greedy. Take one, check. Okay. I could go d4. Okay, let me give one pawn back. I give one pawn back with one pawn plus is enough to win. Maybe I could even do it a little bit better. I could do this. This is winning. I think he blundered. Even if he had taken on c8, I would take first. When he plays rook d1, I would pin him. So that would have been also winning. So first of all, I go for checkmate in 1. And I have 2.5 out of 4 so far. That's a good score. That's a very good score. Okay, since he's not going to fall for that, let's challenge him on the fouls. Okay, so let's go to the back rank. So we just go like this. So he goes there. We threaten mate whilst he's threatening the pawn. It's not an easy one to cover. Threaten mate again. Okay, so we exchange with check. Then we want to take this one with check, remove all possibilities. We check him again. And then we exchange queens. This should bring us home. Okay, I'm not giving him a single pawn, so I protect. I check. And I want to create another pawn, a passed pawn. I go here and I go there. So I isolate this pawn. I'm going to win this one with force. Go here. You can't leave it. I pay him a personal visit. Eventually, I'll win the pawn. Yes, let's go for a rematch. He was a worthwhile opponent. Who did you draw with, and who did you... You must have drawn with one person, and you must have lost one game, I think. Unless you're having a string of draws. B5 is not yet a threat, so... I think this is a slightly inferior setup to the previous ones we've met. The knight is on f6, and he's got two defenders. My plan is to play f5, bishop h6, followed by knight g5. Oh, there was no crowning ceremony, boy. He drew the first round and he lost this last round. Okay. There was no crowning ceremony. They put my title immediately after they awarded it. And then I thought my next title was AIM. Actually, it's AFM, and that's at 1400. So that's why I decided to actually do this. So your players were both higher rated than you. What's their names? Do you know? Yo, this is a blunder. Because now I can eliminate this defender of the king side. I thought that was quite obvious, but my opponent begs to differ. I'm quite certain there were ways I could have made this event maybe much more easier. Oh, you forgot to. What time control are you playing at this tournament? I think I can do this. This I think is a mistake, so I think I can play check first. Okay, let's go check. Play check. I'm sure he can check there, but he's not going to say what. Okay. I completely forgot about that move, that he would take with check. Oh, 66. That's proper games. I wish I actually had gone. I spoke to a couple of people about it, just the timing was bad, but I'm glad that it's happening, because it's a big event. It gets a lot of people to play, a lot of players. Yeah, I think it's just lost for black. Even with these tricks, it's still. Ooh, I should have been a bit more careful. What do I do? Okay, I go here. Yeah. Okay. I go here. Bit of a stupid solution, but might just work. Okay. I go rook here. Okay. It's not the smoothest. Okay. It's disappointing that I have to do this. Okay. Oh, this is risky. Don't know if it's worth it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's a bit weird. Yeah. It's amazing that I've managed to actually defend this position.
The way you walk out, they make me want to touch you more. The way you walk out, they
Yeah.
make me want to touch you more. Show me what you got, make I rock your body. The way
That was close.
carry me go.
I had to sit up straight. This gambit thing, it's risky, but I think a pawn is a pawn. I remember figuring this out over the board when I first met it, and then cross-checking it with old computers at the time, and it was holding up, I think. I'm actually threatening d4. This was one of the discoveries I found. I played this position against a grandmaster and we drew a couple of years ago. Can I take on b2? It's risky, but I potentially could. Let's not be greedy. I remember escaping via a5 to d8 and experiencing a little bit of some initiative from black, but that makes sense. And here, just go like this. And if he goes knight a5, I exchange my light squared bishop, and maybe that's the price to pay, you know. Yeah, doesn't look like I'm going to the king side, so let's not allow him to settle. Okay, and then go knight here. So you push a pawn to chase my knight away. In 10, this pawn creates a weakness for me to exploit later. Especially if I push something like g5, g4. Then suddenly I've got some concrete threats. That's the advantage of maybe not having his bishop on e3. Play. Okay, I like this position. It's not perfect, but I can work with it. The one thing that computers have changed nowadays is static assessment of positions. You can oh, good night, Ryan. The rule one. Good night, one. You need to sleep because tomorrow you've got some critical games. Just blundered the queen. Okay, he plays the French now. Okay, he wants to see what I would do. I think knight c3 is much more ambitious. Go bishop d3 and not allow him to play the kind of positions he wants to play. So I go here. And now I actually test him.
Underneath the parlor, before construction started, it's something else, alright.
I want to take on G7,
Have risen, the tides are all
and I can't
forgot.
think.
So watch out,
Because this threatens a rook. A rook is on fire.
well, you never know
And
what
here I want him to make a decision.
you never know who shows their face. You never know
This is not really the best way to deal with this.
alright.
Because I mean, what if I got to lose now?
You'll hear
I can take here and play push F4.
stories told that never seem to get old. Well, time stands so still when everyone is talking, but nothing still gets old. And you never know what time or
Knights
place.
before bishops.
Never know who shows their face, and you never know what sound is next. Alright.
Kind of suspected you would try something like this.
Well, I see the future. It's different.
Let's
than
make it more
meant to
challenging.
be. It's different than what we mean. Well, part of the meaning.
Yeah, I think the way he,
Leaning on
the way he's assessing
fast to save what's left.
dynamic factors in the position is
Never know what
it's very old-fashioned in one sense, and it's limiting what he can do.
know what sound is next. Alright.
And here,
And you never know what
got no clue
place. You
what I have in mind.
know who shows their face. And you never know what sound is next. Alright.
He can't play that, so I can maybe castle. Okay. Okay, it's time to open up the position. I see you. Guaranteed to be in ICU. I'm excited. Okay. Got a feeling that he hasn't looked at everything. Let's go like this first. This is what I meant. It's a very good position for there's a lot to calculate here. these consequences of knight c5, for instance. Here, this is a blunder. Because now, yeah, I underestimated that one, but then I realized I could take on d7 with check. Boom. This guy is persistent. e6. He's going to sacrifice a pawn again. The mistake he might be making is thinking he's making an opening mistake, but probably rather he's making his philosophy of playing is not sound. Knight c3 is the correct idea. I go a3. I put pressure on b2. I don't take the pawn. He really believes in his analysis. He goes queen g4. Since I'm not going to castle there, I gain a little bit of tempo by harassing his queen. We've played this part so far from the previous game, and I play. He hasn't put in knight pawn b4. That's the difference here. So my king side escapades look a bit funny, but okay, I go knight here. He goes knight here. Now when he goes queen b4, it might be very interesting. What do I want from this position? Fascinating. Okay, since my bishop is not doing anything, let's go on c6. In the previous positions, my bishop couldn't really do anything if it went to c6 because he would put a piece on d4. He goes b. Now I can put pressure on c7 without fear that he will play. You have some tactics, because in this position, the tactics, he doesn't have the rook on c1. Even if he did now, I would still have time to play knight g4, putting pressure on e5, which is what I want. Does he go h3 immediately? Or does he? This is an interesting idea. If I take on a3, interesting. If I take on b5, it goes check. Okay, let's take here. I got nothing to lose. And then I play queen here. I'll take on. I'll take on d6. I'm threatening b5. Wow, this is weird. Because I really want him to think like this, but he takes, and he takes on g.
Yeah, honey, that's true. When I open up the front door, first thing I know that I'm gonna do, well, here's go find you and say, hey there, honey, you
That's an interesting tactical idea. Does it work? Does it work? Does it work? I don't like the fact that my pieces are a little bit passive in that idea. Okay. I take again. I take on A3. Ooh, this is going to hurt. I completely missed that. I should not have taken on A3. Let's get this rook C check. Oh, yeah, yeah. What was I thinking?
Yeah, honey, it's true. I'm gonna drive all night to get home. Get back home and get right back to
Ay, yeah. Is it enough?
you. Yeah, and say, hey there, honey, you look so fine. You look so fine, you blow my mind. Holla back now. Yeah, holla back. Well, hey, pretty lady, you look so good.
Am I just lost?
Honey, like you know you should. Holla back now. Yeah, holla back.
Okay.
Friday night, finally free. What do you
Cool, the 8 is met. Okay. Very nice.
Hey there, honey, you look so fine. You look so fine, you blow my mind. Holla back now. Yeah, holla back. Well, hey, pretty lady, you look so good. Come and hold your honey like you know you should. Holla back now. Yeah, holla back. 'Cause it's Friday night, finally free. What do you say, you and me? Holla back. Yeah, holla
And this is my best bet.
holla back now. Well, holla back. Hey girl, holla back now. Yeah, holla back. Holla back now. Yeah, holla back. Come on, holla back now. Yeah, holla back. Holla back.
Yeah. Do I have, what do I do? How do I keep it real? I really don't have much options. Passive check. Okay, let's let these protect each other. Very important part. Wasn't great. Wasn't the greatest. In early a6 to discourage the bishop to go that way. It comes with its own prices. Ooh. I think I missed something. Okay. Just to mess with mess with blacks. Why did he? This was much more complex than he thought. Should not have. Should not have. Should not have resigned. It was much more complex than what he saw. Because my queen was still under threat, so he could still do some stuff. It's worth putting in the time to learn to handle the Sicilian, because you can see most of the games I'm playing our Sicilian games, and I'm pretty much doing the same thing in all of them. This move just helps my rook come into the attack. The one thing that's working for black very well in this position is he hasn't castled, but bishop takes c3 was just incredibly stupid. I could start with maybe something like this. He's thinking he plays like a child. Okay, let's start with this move. Just putting pressure on c5. Okay. How do you do it? Maybe this was Very nice touch. Okay. Takes two to tango. It's a nasty move. Now if he knight takes, then rook d8 is mate. If pawn takes, queen takes is mate. So his best bet is probably rook takes g5. And he doesn't have time to take on f5 because his queen is on prey. So open him up like a piñata. Not like a heater, like a piñata. Take. And it's quite interesting because a move like queen check could be quite annoying for him. Check. Now I take on, threatening all sorts of stuff. Queen d7 would be mate, or queen f7 would be mate. 1840. Let's move it up a little bit. Okay. Antonio. Didn't he play Sicilian at some point when I played him? Going to take him into the Spanish lens. This is like a Steinis defed. Just going to try and turn it back because I think I've forgotten the theory of it. But after this I'm just going to want to quickly open it up because he seems to be slightly ahead of in development. So we're just going to go like this. Yeah, bishop f8 g6 is an interesting setup he could adapt. The real pace is very strategic. Like knight a5 here is not so effective because it's a bit, there's nothing to it which normally you would have in the Chigorin. But yeah, these pieces I'm sure not so well placed for this. So now we can maybe open it up. I'm now confident about the way my pieces are placed a little bit. Now g3. I'm still kind of, well, taking both. This kind of setup was first played by Fritz, believe it or not, in Fritz 6 against Peter Leko in a match a couple of years in the early days of computer chess and stuff, when computers were allowed to compete with humans in tournaments. There was a tournament, a special tournament, where Fritz actually unleashed this kind of position and demonstrated how it should be played. Early days of dynamic assessment, like with what we see nowadays, and this was very novel at the time. But nowadays, pretty much every top human being understands and plays like this. But yeah, what my opponent might be messing up a little bit is that you should avoid exchanging pieces, because the more you exchange, the static the position becomes, and the more it favors more it favors white. Just because if you look at the pawn structure, black has got this weakness on d6. And it's not a problem now. I was thinking earlier on I should have maybe played queen f3 before playing knight to here. But I've got some tricks up my back. So let's put some pressure on d6. So this way he can't play bishop here. So he could play maybe bishop here. What kind of nonsense is this? Here I take. Yeah, I think he really just missed the simple fine point. One thing I used to like a lot when I was starting out in chess was I would look at these old games of Capablanca, and he had a way of implementing strategic aims using small tactics. For instance, here I could take, or I could just play rook ad, which is much more effective because I keep putting pressure on black's position. Like small stuff like that, which would make a huge difference in the way in the positions. So now I have a threat of bishop f6, winning the bishop on g7. I still have this threat, by the way. So I'm a pawn up in this position should be enough to win the game. Goes bishop e6 and he's threatening what? Nothing. So okay, e3. Okay, so here I'm not against exchanging. I'm not going to seek out exchanging. His rook is a bit passive, so I want to try and see if we can exploit that. Knight 2. The more he does this, the worse his position becomes. My knight is a bit horrible, but then if I take here, he takes there. But nothing stops me from doing this. Okay. Okay, so let's go like that. F4. You can always play bishop d3. King move. Doesn't have time. Okay, Mr. ICU. Guaranteed to be in ICU. Okay, let's go F5. One takes. F6. Ooh, yeah, this was not the smartest move. I've pretty much thrown away all the advantage I had. Ooh. Okay. Oh, it's so funny he didn't actually do this. Now I can play here. It was not smart. Yeah, play here. Okay, I can go here. I'm threatening mate, so Oh, I see. Very clever. But he's missed one little element. So the defense was he could come back to e1 to protect e8, but then I took him to a square where he can't go to e4. So now I'm attacking the rook, I'm threatening mate. Minor details. You're dead. Very nice. I'm drained. I don't feel like I can finish this tonight, but I enjoyed playing the games. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow.